It's time for SPASH Sports Nation.
Today on this episode of SPASH Sports Nation, we are here with the girls curling team who just recently won their first state championship ever last weekend. So we're here with myself, Joey Roth, and
I'm Trayton Zinda.
And
Krista Damashik.
And I'm Susanna View.
And we'll be asking them a couple questions about their journey to the state championship and just their careers of curlers.
All right, so to get things started, I'm going to ask you, which positions do you guys play? Or is there like different types of positions in curling?
Yeah, okay, so I'm the skip, which is kind of like the captain of the team. I'm the one that stands at the other end and kind of calls the shots. I'm more in charge of the strategy aspect of the game. And Krista, you can talk about your position.
I play lead, and I throw the first stones at the end, and I sweep everyone else's, and we all help input on strategy for you too.
Mm-hmm. So.
Awesome. How long have you guys been curling?
8 years?
8 years, yeah. Both of us started curling around 4th grade. That's about the youngest that you can start with a junior program. And actually, as a team, the 5 of us have been together since
6 years?
6 years.
Yeah.
So where did you guys start that out?
There's at the Stevens Point Curling Club. There's a program called Little Rocks, where 4th through 8th graders get together to curl. They just kind of teach them the basics, and then once you get to freshman year, you can be on the high school team.
Okay. Could you guys give us a brief description on how curling is played and like how things are scored?
Okay. Krista, you can start.
Okay, so there are 4 people on the ice at a time, and everyone throws 2 stones, and while one person's throwing, 2 people sweep it, and the skip at the far end does strategy for like the entire end, which is all 8 stones for a team.
Yep. And then sweepers' jobs are very important. They help keep the stone straight, and they help it to go further, get it where it needs to be. Curling is known as chess on ice, so the strategy is a really big component. It's not just kind of throw and hope for the best. There's a lot of precision and I guess thought that goes into every shot that's called.
Definitely.
So, and then for our high school games, we play 8 ends, which are kind of similar to innings in baseball. Each team throws 8 rocks, and then at the end, whichever team has the most rocks closest to the center of the ring scores. So you can score up to 8 points in an end, but that's super rare. Usually it's just 1 or 2. And so yeah, scoring is a little bit complicated, but.
Okay, and then how long do you think that the game would last, or like a match?
Regular 8-end games usually last about 2 hours. So,
Wow.
yeah, and it gets pretty chilly out there when you're out there for 2 hours because it's not like with hockey, you're out there but you're moving, whereas
You're
curling,
just standing there.
I mean,
Yeah.
I am, yeah. As the skip, the sweepers
Get
I
a little
enjoy
warmer.
sweeping because you get movement and you actually
Yeah.
stay warm, whereas I usually freeze.
So what like when you sweep, what does that exactly do to how do you control it with
Krista,
that?
as a sweeper.
Okay, so you sweep in front of the stone, and the sweeping is friction, so it heats up the ice and it melts it a little bit. So that helps the stone, it's called curling. So the stones naturally curl, and to sweep, it helps keep it straighter, and it also helps it go further.
Yeah, and it looks simple, but like as you're going down the ice, you're walking on ice, and you're also you want as much of your body weight on the broom as possible, so that you're the most effective when you have the most pressure. So you're doing a shuffle down the ice. You have to judge the weight and tell your skip, is the rock going to be where you want it to be? And you also have to do the pushing back and forth. It's a lot all at once.
So if you want the rock to slow down, how do you do that?
There's no
can't.
hope.
No.
Yeah.
If
That's
it's
why
going too fast,
yep,
it's going
a
too
lot
fast.
of the times, one of the things I like to say if everybody's like throwing heavy and we're missing, it's just trust your sweepers, because if it's light, your sweepers can get it to where it needs to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of the time, yes.
All right, well, right after this little break, we'll be back with 2 more of the members of the curling team with more questions. Okay, we are back here with 2 more of the curling team members. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Rachel Kovleski.
I'm Anissa Zaski, and we do have a 5th player that was on our state team named Lizzie Rubenzer, but she is homeschooled, so could not be with us here.
She's not dead.
Well, that's always a positive thing. So, can you guys tell us a little bit about the matches leading up to the state championship match and how your road to get there, basically?
Until like the last game, it was like pretty easy. Like I'd say, like we didn't. As said before by our lovely Skip, there are 8 innings in curling, and we didn't make it to the last shot for any of those.
Yeah, over the years we've been curling together. We've become a pretty good team. So like during the state tournament, we played 5 games, including the final, and the first 3 we didn't have much of a problem with.
Yeah.
It was once we got to the final game and the semifinal game that the competition was like really up. So it was pretty stressful, but
Yeah.
For sure. So, like, how long have you guys been curling together, and like, do you guys do any like team bonding stuff to like build the chemistry?
Yeah. There's a lot of.
yeah, like I've been curling for 8 years like them, and as a team, us 4 have been curling together for the 8 years, and then Lizzie came 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been together for a lot of years. We've played a lot of games together, a lot of tournaments, so we've kind of learned how everyone works and what we can do to encourage each other.
And before that, like some of us knew each other, like at elementary school and stuff like that.
So back to the state championship match. What were the thoughts running through your head moments
Stress.
leading up?
Yeah.
Especially for Krista.
Oh, she was behind the glass that game, so she didn't know what was happening half the time. She had no idea what we were saying.
What's behind the glass?
It's curling ice is in sheets, which
all
is like a lane, and it's all in a building, and then there's glass
The spectating.
that separates you from the spectators.
Okay.
So
So,
the
like-
people behind the glass are watching, and they can't hear what's going on.
Okay.
Because, like, yeah, you can't hear what's on the other side of the glass,
Yeah.
and you can't hear, because, like, I don't know if it's, like, supposed to prevent, like, people from telling you what to do, because, like, people can't
Yeah.
interfere with what you're doing. It's, like, a big rule.
Yeah, our last game was so stressful. We didn't play our best, so over halfway through the game, we were tied at 2 points, which is low-scoring game, and we weren't sure what to do. We just had to find a way to score more and, like, get points on the board for us so
Yeah.
we could win.
And then
We
we were
ended up doing
rolling.
that.
Yeah, we were rolling after, like, about halfway through, and then they were done
Mhm.
before, like, the last inning.
Who'd you guys play for your for the state championship?
Partyville.
Yep.
Yeah.
Final game was Partyville.
And they're a good set of girls. We know them pretty well.
Yeah. That's so what are like the next steps with your team and stuff? Like, do you guys curl all year round, or you take a little break and stuff?
Well, out of season, Susanna, Vio, and I, we're going on to nationals for a separate thing. But we're going on to U18 nationals. And all 4 of us participate in, like, summer curling camps and stuff of that nature. Like, so we don't just go in October, September, sometime in there, and then go to February, and then we're done. We usually have little parts in between where we go and curl.
Yeah, for sure.
So how can there's no way you guys can really practice at home, is there? If you wanna get better?
No.
No,
Like
it's,
jogging and stretching. And
yeah, you really got to be on the ice in order to
That's what I thought.
get your
And
skills with
yeah,
the game.
the ice melts, so we can't do that.
Hard to have it in summer.
So take us through a practice and like what are some, like, do you guys do drills or different things like that, or is it just straight up curl?
It depends on the practice.
Yeah, it's different every day. It depends on
Okay.
what we're doing the next day.
Okay.
Yeah,
Really.
sometimes our coaches will have us play a few ends or like put us in a game situation
Yep.
to see what we do with the strategy and stuff. Sometimes we do drills. We work on like different weights we have to throw, or we do sweeping drills, or like line
Yep.
is really important, so we work on that
'Cause
sometimes.
The ice does change, and it's different every building facility that you go to. And so we have to learn how to accommodate quickly to like changes that might happen in 5 minutes. Like goes, oh, well, I threw that, so it would be like halfway down, and now it's like through and out of play. So
Yeah.
Do all of the rocks weigh the same?
40,
Yeah, they're 42-pound granite stones with handles.
Wow. Well, that's very interesting.
and they all come from the same island. If that's a fun
Really?
detail. Yeah.
Do you know which island that is?
Isles.
It's someplace in Scotland.
Someplace in Scotland.
They
Really?
all- every stone comes from the same quarry.
That's why they're very
Wow.
expensive, and we're
Yeah.
not allowed to break them.
That's a very interesting fact right there. So yeah, that's a little bit about our state championship curling team and a little insight on curling if you guys were not so informed on the sport itself. So there we go with that. So that's all we got today with this episode of SPASH Sports Nation.
Thank you for
Thank you.
participating.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.
First, we have Justin Groshek, who is wrestling for us at 106 pounds. Justin is 33-2 this year. One loss out of state to a kid from Illinois. The other loss, Justin came back and beat the kid by a major decision very next day. So looking for good things out of Justin this weekend. Brady, undefeated, defending state champion at 113 pounds. Looking to do it again. And brother Dylan with a couple losses again, one out of state. And we're going to take care of the other one this weekend. So those are our three.